today was a good day, a good teaching day. Was able to add some more stuff offensively because, right now with only 2 or 3 practices, we're predictable offensively, and teams are kind of sitting on and taking advantage of that. But, just continue to keep playing with pace. I think offensively, turning defense to offense. And today we added about 6 or 7 more sets out of elbow. So we just got to continue to keep, learning on the fly and just keep thinking with it every day and just keep, making sure guys are learning.
Chris, we should keep in mind, he was referring to the fact that it's not just the Cavaliers offense as a whole, but these are new guys coming together. They obviously wanted to simplify the game plan a little to get everyone on the same page. But is he right about their offense at this point?
Yeah, look, I have a few problems with the Cavs' offensive approach. I love Tyronn Lue, since he's taken over, has wanted to push the pace. Now that he's got some young guys, they can do that, and they can do that well. And that was one of the reasons they were in the game with San Antonio through the first 3 quarters. Great transition game, which will probably only get better.
And the guys they picked up, not only young and athletic, but the advanced metrics say some of the best transition players in the league. So it fits that style well. Go ahead.
No question. A few problems I have with the Cavaliers' offensive approach. Sometimes, and this was before they made the trades, so maybe it will stop. But you probably saw it too. Through the first 3 quarters of games, a lot of times they would have pretty good ball movement, especially for a LeBron James team where he has the ball a lot and he's ball dominant. But in the fourth quarter, I think they tend to become all LeBron all the time. Not that he's shooting all the time, but he's creating all the time.
Dictating.
And it's easy to fall into that because he's so great that you figure just let him take over. But a lot of times I think they'd be better served if there was continued the ball movement they had in the first 3 quarters and not just put it all on LeBron. One of my biggest problems, and we talked about it yesterday, I think they rely too much on the 3-point shot. They're 3rd in the league in 3-point attempts. I thought their half-court offense against San Antonio on Sunday was atrocious, in part because they were hunting out the 3 ball. And you said it. What were they, 0 for 10 from 3 in the fourth quarter?
They were 0 for 10 from 3 in the fourth quarter in the loss against Washington. The starters in the loss against San Antonio were 0 for 10 from 3 for the game. The starters other than LeBron.
And those 2 losses with the new guys, 8 and 34 against Washington from 3, or 8 and 35, 8 of 35 from 3, 8 of 34 against San Antonio. Now, I have no problem with taking a lot of threes. They are a good 3-point shooting team, so take them. But when the 3 is not falling, I believe they need to go more into the post. And Tyronn Lue said it after the game Sunday. Go more into the post or drive to the basket. They have guys, obviously LeBron, Jeff Green, Rodney Hood, Jordan Clarkson. They have guys now who don't have to say, it's 3-pointer or bust. If I can't hit the 3, I can't do anything.
Well, you just touched on it. There's a lineup that I don't think we've seen much at all. That would be the opposite of their 3-point-centric lineup that they ended the game with on Sunday. And it's Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood, Jeff Green, LeBron, and Larry Nance. That is just 5 athletic guys with very little shooting out there. Rodney Hood obviously can shoot. LeBron gets hot and cold.
And Clarkson,
is hot and cold as well. But your best skill set, except for Hood, of those guys, is not shooting the basketball. But you've got some athletes out there. You've got some length out there as well. That would be a very tall lineup. 4 guys 6'8" or taller. That's a lineup we haven't seen much, if at all, since the trade. Now, again, the downside to that is, one thing that we know is LeBron likes to be on the court with shooters because it opens up the paint and he can get to the basket more. That would be less of that type of offense and more, like you're talking about, motion-oriented, passing, cut, and see if you can get layups. The best answer is probably a mixture. Like I just talked about
which I agree with.
Their slashing lineup. Once Kevin Love gets back, they also could have a deadly shooters lineup of George Hill, Rodney Hood, Korver or JR, depending on who's playing well, Kevin Love, and LeBron. But maybe what the best lineup once Kevin Love gets back is a little bit of each. Hill and Hood, Love, LeBron, and Larry Nance. There you've got it. Larry Nance can do a high pick and roll and go up for alley-oops.
You got no love for JR. He hadn't been in any of your lineups.
JR actually, on an individual level, he's my favorite human being on the Cavs. I really like JR. Like JR, personally, I really like him. He's He's had a good.
He's a streaky.
And he's been good for 10 days in the last year. So,
he's
like,
the definition of a streaky.
If he gets back on hot, then he could actually be a good mixture because he can get to the rim and he can shoot threes. But right now, he hasn't been that guy.
Piggybacking off what you said, is there a sense that when the three doesn't drop for this team, they become LeBron-centric? They say, okay, no matter what, we're just going to go through LeBron, and he's going to sort of, whether he's driving or trying to hit, he's going to kind of will it through, which is why sometimes in the fourth quarter, when it's not happening, everything seems like it goes through him no matter what.
No, I think they tend to go that way in the fourth quarter regardless. Like, it becomes, okay, put the ball in LeBron's hands and let him make the decisions, whether they're hitting threes or not. I mean, that's their offense. And you're right, LeBron likes playing with shooters. And again, I don't want to put 5 slashers out there. My only point is, when the three is not falling, look to something else. Look to the post. Look to having guys cut so LeBron can hit them with backdoor passes, or when he's driving, a guy's cutting, he can give him a pass when he draws a double.
Well, and if you watch the games, or if you just look at the numbers, LeBron assists on three-pointers more than any player in the league, more than even James Harden. Over the last few years, the only player who's been cumulatively ahead of him on assists on three-pointers is James Harden. If you think about the passes LeBron makes, aside from an alley-oop to Tristan Thompson to finish at the rim, it's almost always LeBron is driving and finds an amazing, how did he wheel that pass around to a three-pointer. When we see an assist lead to a dunk for the Cavs, that assist is almost always given to LeBron James. Like, he's the one dunking it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very rarely do LeBron's assists end in layups because he's the one driving, the defense is collapsing, he's hitting guys for threes. And I think what happened against San Antonio and what happened against Washington was a little chicken and the egg situation. Once LeBron came back in the game in the fourth quarter, they were three heavy. They missed them. Therefore, they got down a significant amount. It's like, okay, now we have to rely on the three. And I just think a couple shots here and there can change that. But the last 3 games, the new guys are shooting 27% from three, and they haven't adjusted, which is your point.
Cavs and Nets tonight. We'll see if they can